Paramount and Skydance together at last. Well, maybe. Nah, it's a done deal. Well, yeah, I'm sure it is. Anyway, Paramount CEO Trio told employees it was business as usual until its mega merger with Skydance formally closes, while reminding them that layoffs loom. Yeah, well, at least they're being upfront about it. I mean, that's always the case with mergers, you know. Paramount's board approved the merger, marking the end of tumultuous talks that were nearly torpedoed when owner Sherry Redstone walked away from the negotiations. Skydance CEO David Ellison, the son of Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, will serve as chairman and CEO of the newly combined company. And former NBC Universal CEO Jeff Shell will serve as its president. Still, the deal is far from sealed and may yet face Federal Trade Commission scrutiny over antitrust concerns. I don't think that'll be too much of a hurdle, though. You know, I mean, sure, they're both entertainment companies producing shows and whatnot, but Paramount is a bit more complex than Skydance, as far as I know. And they'll probably... It'll be pretty smooth, I think, for the most part. Yeah. Anyway, in a note to staff obtained by Deadline, Paramount co-CEOs George Cheeks, Brian Robbins, and Chris McCarthy said the transaction would likely close in the first half of 2025 due to regulatory approvals and other factors. Until then, the execs are moving forward with a plan that includes streamlining teams, eliminating duplicative functions, and reducing the size of our workforce. Again, the layoffs, yeah. They also said Paramount would explore divesting some of our assets. Yeah. A rep for Paramount declined to comment on who would be impacted by the layoffs. It could be them. The trio had discussed job cuts earlier this year. Well, yeah, it's inevitable. At an investor meeting in June, they shared plans to run Paramount into the ground. I mean, as a standalone company. Well, yeah, but you needed cash, and you didn't have it. So that's why this sort of thing happens. This included $500 million in cuts, the Los Angeles Times reported, including layoffs, asset sales, and joint, blah, blah, blah. A town hall meeting last month, the CEO said that the triumvirate, well, that'll be solidified down to Ellison when this is, all done and everything, you know. Said they'd made progress in identifying duplicative roles, including in the legal and corporate marketing departments, but did not provide a timeline. Paramount cut 800 jobs, about 3% of its workforce, in February. In terms of potential asset sales, Variety reported that BET, VidCon, and the Paramount Pictures lot could be in play. Wow. The lot itself put up for sale. Well, one of these things, of course, my interest, mostly in Paramount. There's a lot of different properties in there. I mean, of course, you got South Park. Hopefully, Mike Judge will do some more Beavis and Butthead. Man, when he did that comeback, that was some great stuff. You know, things like that. Every now and then, there's plenty of other stuff that skips my mind at the moment, but that doesn't mean they're not good. I never did get into Yellowstone and all that, but by its popularity, you know, it was a successful series of shows. But my main interest, of course, was Star Trek. You know, lifelong since I was a wee little lad, enjoying Star Trek, but not lately. The so-called creatives in charge of it have basically flushed it down the commode. And yet at one time, they saw Star Trek as Paramount's jewel in the crown. Well, not so much. So how badly damaged is the brand where new bosses come in and want to dust that off in the hopes that they can turn that into a profitable entity? They might want to just go with the others that aren't so damaged and can prove to be profitable already, and put more emphasis on that, and of course, funding. So could Star Trek be an asset that they decide, let's sell it off? Now, not nearly what it could have been worth, but still, money's money. Would there be hope even there? I mean, right now, new boss is coming in. Maybe look for a better team to take over Star Trek and right that ship, as it were, and start over with it, And then that could be a good outcome. Or they sell it off, hopefully to some concern that actually cares about the property, produces it, and licenses it out to wherever. Maybe even CBS. Wouldn't that be funny? Anyway, something of that nature could lend some hope. Unlike a lot of the other franchises that have fallen into the wrong hands, let's say, and have been badly damaged, primarily narratively, into the core of their stories and whatnot. Star Trek is one where it wouldn't be all that difficult. You start over with a new Star Trek show. Yes, a show. I know they keep chasing movies, but the main focus should be a show. It's a brand new ship. It's a brand new crew in a brand new era, and you go from there. Hire writers that are knowledgeable of science fiction, at least, and also just basic stories. I mean, Star Trek was at its best when it weaved a lot of stories that didn't necessarily even have to be science fiction, but worked anyway, and that kind of thing could happen. This lazy, below soap opera level writing that has been dogging Star Trek of late won't do. No, it wasn't even good enough for CW. No. So, yeah, there's possibilities, but been let down so many times, the odds are against it. I don't like saying it, but it's true. But, something great happens, I'll be a happy camper. But, man, what a lot of wasted years. And a lot of massive wastes of money that didn't get any return. That's probably the most expensive Star Trek has been. And it was wasted. Yeah. Oh, well. We'll see what happens here, but yeah, I would caution any high hopes.